on Instagram, on Snapchat, all these social media platforms. They would curse at each other, threaten each other, and
Right.
everything. And then when one person has enough and they say, I'm pulling out,
Right.
and they pull up and the fight, my son's cousin, same thing. They got into a fight on Instagram. So that's not a real fight. But your dumb tail goes to where this girl's live and go fight her. When I
That
grew
solves
up, you
everything.
better be careful what you say. Cause
You couldn't hide on social media then.
yeah, we didn't have social media, but if you told Mandy something and Mandy tells Tasha and Tanya something and it comes back to me some other way, I'm not gonna go back the mulberry bush to get to you. I'm coming directly to you and we can have this discussion. But now it's like with Instagram, people are are getting that instant gratification of having something, a response for this person. You don't know the person on the other side might not be wrapped too tight.
Yeah.
They will.
But I mean, you can also hide on social media because if I'm arguing with somebody in Montana, they're not gonna find me unless they
Not
know
at
how
all.
to
I mean,
hack into stuff.
I had a so-called troll one time. I made a comment on something on Instagram correcting somebody, and she just started. I was like, "Listen, let me tell you something. You look young as hell because I've looked through your page. You're young as hell. You don't know nothing. You just learned how to wipe your tail." But I'm gonna tell you one thing: I am not the one that you want.
She's the Boss believes skincare should be nurturing, easy to use, smell delicious, feel refreshing, and look incredible. She's the Boss Cosmetics and Skincare brings you our botanical-based skincare line that's gentle, uncomplicated, and extremely effective for men, women, and youth. Feel confident and radiate a power glow that flows from the inside out. Exude an assurance that extends from the home into the conference room. Visit us at www.shes-the-boss.com or call us at 866-494-5945 to get yours today. Beauty's in the eye. We complicate things when all along it's just perfect as it is. Beauty is from within. It's how you feel, not as how others see you. Skincare shouldn't be complicated. She's the Boss believes skincare should be nurturing, easy to use, smell delicious, feel refreshing, and look incredible. She's the Boss Cosmetics and Skincare brings you our botanical-based skincare line that's gentle, uncomplicated, and extremely effective for men, women, and youth. Feel confident and radiate a power glow that flows from the inside out. Exude an assurance that extends from the home into the conference room. Visit us at www.shes-the-boss.com or call us at 866-494-5945 to get yours today.
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service, so you won't have wet carpet all day long, and you can get back to doing the things you love with your family immediately. And it's a way to make your room healthier while improving your indoor air quality. You can do tile, slate, granite, ceramic, area rugs, and yes, they're pet friendly too. Why don't you get a free, no obligation estimate today? NeatlyDoneSanAntonio.com.
She's the boss. Radio Network.
In DC, it was a one-on-one. In Baltimore, are you coming deep?
All right, guys, we're back and still talking about Brandon Scott and we got off into fighting and stuff like that. I don't have no stories. I ain't never been in a fight, but I was listening
But
to
she
other
has
people
stories
tell
about
stories.
playing in the dirt and having
Yeah.
a ball and sweating
And being a kid.
cutting up and
I
getting
don't-
hit by baseball
I
bats and
don't. I don't
stuff.
sit there and get
To
in
me,
no fights with people.
Yeah, I'm not getting sweaty. I'm not getting sticky. That's
I wasn't talking about any of that, by the way. But
Dirt.
anyway, so yeah. So Brandon's whole big thing is trying to, fix what is broken in Baltimore. But in my opinion, after a year, I haven't really heard much of what he's done at all, except come up with these initiatives. That
and
he's
his
trying
man,
to,
his perfect
out
afro
there.
that he's got on his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't. Yeah.
At least it's shorter than it was. It's died down.
But
so.
I don't see anybody doing anything, and all these people that are running for prosecutor, state's prosecutor. I think he's going to have these police officers arrest a lot of young people because of his bias. And now everything that they're doing is attacking the squeegee boys.
Yeah.
The whole article basically was about the squeegee boys. If you would put something in place to keep them kids off the streets, give them the PAL. I'm going to keep saying it, the PAL program, the rec centers, the state-run stuff. Apparently, the state comes out its ass with all this money for dumb stuff. The money going to the police, this inevitably will help the crime rate. If you put these kids in rec centers, PAL programs, something, jobs.
Because some of them are committing crimes, so try to help them out, save them, and put them in a program.
Yeah. So these squeegee boys, you want to get rid of them, or you want to limit the amount of squeegee boys that are out there? Open up rec centers. Feed these kids. You don't have to house them.
Even more to the point, like, you can have rec centers for them, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, but honestly, give them a job. That's what they need to be making money. Like, yeah, they can go to a rec center, play some basketball and stuff like that, but they're also at the age where they need to start learning responsibility and need to go get a job. The 13, 14-year-olds, they can go to the rec centers and do whatever, arts and crafts, whatever they're going to do.
No,
but the older kids really need to start focusing on being adults, because you're 17 and don't know nothing.
Yeah.
You can't even go to the store and shop properly. I mean, I couldn't at 17, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know a couple of people that are in their 20s and can't read. They are Kelly that
absolutely.
shit.
I mean, there's ones older than that. I just did a screening with one who can't read or write, and so that really limits him. He's like 53 or something. So, his highest grade was 8th grade that he completed. I mean, it's unfortunate, but so yeah. I mean, going back to Mosby, like you were saying. So the race for Baltimore City State's Attorney heats up. Candidates vying to unseat Mosby are also promising to crack down on minor quality of life crimes. Defense Attorney Ivan Bates, former federal prosecutor Theroux, and former Assistant City State's Attorney Roya Hanna all said they would reverse Mosby's existing policy. And Vignaraja Theroux, he's a Democrat as well. But he says his plan for the squeegee workers is, we don't need a senior homicide prosecutor focusing on that case, but we do need some prosecutor focusing on cases like that. Those cases can be used as an example to educate the public of the dangers of doing this.
By prosecuting them? And they're out there trying to make money. The ones that are robbing people, snatching stuff. Okay, I get that. Yeah. But the majority of those squeegee boys, they're just trying to make $1 here and there. They just want their food, go home, chill out, and then start all over again. That's for them not to starve.
He also said, before that, he said, the reality is that low-level offenders, serious violent offenders, have gotten the impression in Baltimore that crime pays, that there are no consequences for crime, and you can literally get away with murder, and they're right. The thing
now,
is, you can't say low-level offenders and then say serious violent offenders
and murderers. Like, come on. See, I do not want to see him anywhere near the prosecution desk.
He said the reality is that low-level offenders, serious violent offenders, they're not the same thing.
They're not the same thing. That's how stupid he is.
Ivan Bates says, my prosecution plan for Baltimore addresses both juvenile issues and low-level offenses. I will hold squeegee kids accountable, but not lose compassion, and work to redirect them to positive alternatives such as job training and education. Okay, I'm more on board with him than the other guy. Support service participation rates have plummeted as a result of the current state's attorney's policies. And then Roya Hanna said she would also tackle such cases. I think providing services for the squeegee kids for other things is an important aspect, but if they choose not to take advantage of those services, we have to enforce the law. That is, in essence, the role of the state's attorney. So if I don't want to go to your community center, what, you gonna pick me up and throw me in there?
Basically is what she's saying.
Like, I don't know.
My whole thing is, okay, you have a low-level crime. So what I would do is log these people.
Yeah.
Log them and then send them to rec centers. There's ramifications for your actions. If it's personal use, it's personal use. You can't sit there and say, no, he was trying to sell that bag. How do you know? So you're assuming.
That's his intent to distribute. Right. But you're assuming that. Like you said, you're guessing that. You don't know what they're going to do.
If you want to, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. to prove that this person was going to do what the police officer said. How can you? How can you prove that? You have lying ass Baltimore City police officers out
Right.
there, and we ran
we
ran
just saw
past
that.
one. Yeah, sitting there having a conversation. They don't do jack. The ones that actually do things, unfortunately, they're overlooked all the time. But the ones that are pieces of crap are out here showing their tails. I'm gonna shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I felt so with those guys, the gun task force getting arrested. I feel so much at peace. But I just want the rest of them to get caught. But I'm gonna leave that alone.
Right.
It's more than news.
Yeah. And just some other parts about his initiative here.
Ooh.
Of course, the older folks, Brandon. The older folks, he says we must not forget our older residents. They are the residents who lived through Baltimore's racist policies and who bore the brunt of housing inequity. We must ensure they have the necessary resources to age in places with the dignity and grace they deserve. And okay,
His
so
mother
that's,
told me right
that's
there.
all. Yeah, that's all well and good. But my thing is, the whole city needs a makeover.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't put these people in places that look nice. Which my friend's mom is in a rehab center now here in Baltimore, and it ain't shit. I'll just say that. But the whole city needs to be redone because to me it's as if people just don't care about their own city. They'll sit there and say that they rep Baltimore and blah 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 blah, West Side, all that shit. But at the end of the day, you don't do nothing for your community.
But think about it though. What has the city done for their citizens? Flag House, Murphy Homes. Yes, I understand that was crime infested and all of that. But what you did was pick them up and move them to Columbia.
Well, that seems like an upgrade to me.
You think so? And then the violence goes to Columbia.
I mean, that's
Their
true, but
crime
they're
rate
living
goes
in a
up.
nicer place.
It doesn't even matter if the place is nice or not, if it's going to be run down and it's going to be garbage after a while. Then Columbia starts.
Yeah, but that
Upgrade.
to me is more on the people. You can't blame that on the government.
No, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. Baltimore City has had this gentrification focus.
Right.
So what they're doing is, instead of finding out who's living there, the rental property, it's a how, what do you call those? The projects. Who owns them? The city owns them. So you know who's living there. You know how many kids they have, how much money they make.
So where should they put them?
No, it's not even about put them. There should have been all these abandoned houses out here. They should have worked towards some kind of policy or some kind of contract with these people that they have to do X, Y, and Z. It's like your kid when they're putting on punishment. In order to get off of punishment, you got to do X, Y, and Z. And I think that's how they should be treated. Right before Perkins was tore down, they had a ramming truck ram a house, trying to look for somebody, not realizing the whole place has been abandoned. Perkins was evacuated. But the money, our tax dollars went into doing that for show. It didn't help. My thing is, when
Why
you
would
have
you do that to look for somebody? Because you run the
I
risk
sent
of
you the
crushing
video.
them. I didn't want. I guess I didn't. I don't remember
I
that.
sent you the video.
No, my point is, why would you ram my house to find somebody and risk crushing
Lawrence,
them?
nobody communicates with everybody else.
But I'm saying you risk. It's a. You said
They
a
don't
ramming
care. You're
truck.
asking that. They don't care. That's not their main focus. They got a warrant. They get some action. Let's go do this the most craziest way. The no-knock warrant, just like that. And that's basically what that was. It was a no-knock warrant, but they came with a tank. That thing was so unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. It's like, you've abused these community people. You have disrespected them. You have displaced them. And you think they're going to do anything for the city?
Yeah, I mean, I get that one example. Again, for me, it goes both ways. I think the people of the city don't care, and
Yeah.
I think the government,
Gave up.
doesn't necessarily care either. To me, it always goes both ways. It's not the city who's out here littering, making the city look like shit. It's the people that live here, and I see it all the time. It's not the city that's running these red lights, hitting people. It's the city. It's the civilians that live here. So it's plenty of blame to go around with
Yeah.
everybody. And I think if you're going to care about your city, you would do more. You would say, if you saw something, you would say something, because now you're just letting this person get away with whatever, murder, robbery, whatever they just did. And I get the whole being scared part, but that I do think is on the city and the cops to come up with a better way. I've always said something about texting. Why can't I text something to the cops? I don't know if that exists. I feel like I heard it does somewhere. But my thing is, why would I want to risk going into a police station so I can be seen by somebody? Why would I want to be sitting out on the street talking to a cop in a car so I can, be risk being seen talking to them? They've got to come up with better ways for people to get them information. If they want the information, you're on Twitter talking about help us find this person or blah, blah, blah. How am I going to do that without being, seen by some kingpin or somebody down the street who can kill me if I say something? So I think all the way around, something has to be done. And the longer they wait, the worse this is going to get, because already this year, things are getting way out of hand. We're already beating the record as far as deaths than last year. So I don't know. I give Brandon kudos for trying, but I hope by the time he leaves office, something has happened. Because at this point, I think you're right. They could have, we got to stop. Show's over. So thanks for joining us. And what do I normally say? So this is She's a Boss Radio Network, 24 hours, 7 days a week. The focus. Oh, I don't have to say all that. but anyway, I'm Sigourney, and that's Moran, and we're Deplorable Rhetoric. Thanks for joining us. You can go to tunein.com or Shoutcast. You can tell Alexa or Siri to play She's a Boss Radio. Also, like She's a Boss Radio on Facebook, She's a Boss Radio on Twitter, WSTBRN on IG, and WSTBR on Twitch and Tumblr. And we're Deplorable Rhetoric on Facebook, Deplorable_Rhetoric on Instagram, and we rant to rave, the number 2 on Twitter, if it still exists pretty soon. All right, we'll talk at you next week.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? She's